Here's a score you will surely remember, 100-0. Remember that girls' basketball game? Well, the coach fired after winning that game speaks for the first time. Next, Outside the Lines. This team's victory, 100-0, made national headlines.
Was 100 points a goal?
Never. No way. Absolutely not.
The winning coach was fired.
You didn't feel that you needed to apologize for the game. Why?
Because we did everything the right way.
Today, exclusively and for the first time, he speaks publicly, and you'll see that game. Also this week,
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
As two new ballparks open in New York.
I could not believe it. I was actually shocked.
Fans confront ticket prices never seen before.
Why does a ticket need to be $150, $250, $495?
It's not a question of need. It's a question of supply and demand and the marketplace.
Today, Outside the Lines, opening day sticker shock. And the 100-0 coach speaks out.
And now, reporting for Outside the Lines, Bob Lee.
Across the country, the story seems to write itself. The final score in a girls' high school basketball game, 100-0. The winning coach fired for disagreeing with his school's apology. But this may be a lot more complex, the fallout from a January game between two private schools in Dallas. Today, make up your own mind as you listen to the coach who was essentially fired for winning a game in which he says he and his girls did nothing wrong. Darren Lyn with this Outside the Lines exclusive.
In February, the season ended for the Covenant High School girls basketball team of Dallas, Texas, losing in the playoffs to the eventual state champions. But this is not the game they'll be remembered for this season.
What comes to mind when I mention January 13th, 2009?
Well, district game, a game we won. And after the game was over, we moved on. Money.
30-year-old Micah Grimes was head coach of the Covenant team that day, the day they beat Dallas Academy by a score of 100-0.
To us, it was just another game. I think to mainstream media, everyone looked at it as a team that just decided to run up a score.
The Covenant school ran up the score, 100-0.
And it is causing outrage from the winning school itself.
So lopsided, so controversial, it's creating an uproar far beyond Texas.
A media firestorm followed, and less than 2 weeks later, Grimes was fired after not apologizing for what the headmaster of his school described as shameful and an embarrassment.
You didn't feel that you needed to apologize for the game. Why?
Because we did everything the right way. As a coach, I took precautions. We did not try to do what everyone else thought we did. And so I felt deep down that there's no way we should apologize for something we know we did not do.
Would you consider 100-0 running up a score?
Some people can view it that way if they don't understand the other side of the story.
Grimes says only the dozen or so people in the stands that night actually saw what happened. The only known video of the 100-0 game was shot by the father of a player on the winning team. Grimes says he wants the public to see it, and Outside the Lines requested a complete copy of the game tape from the man who owns it, but he refused, saying he was concerned about the context in which it could be used. Instead, he provided us with a 10-minute edited version of the game, seen here publicly for the first time. Opening tip. Tell us what happened.
We got the tip, we went and scored 2 points, and then we went into our full court press as we normally would do against any opponent.
Grimes says they continued to use the press throughout most of the first quarter, which led to turnovers and easy baskets. With 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter, Covenant led 27-0, and Grimes says they stopped pressing.
Once I pulled my girls back and we played a less aggressive defense, we played a zone, from that point on, it was just like, let's just try to get this game over.
Dallas Academy coaches were asked not to speak with us for this story, but assistant coach Andrew Lott said in published reports he was sure Covenant returned to a different press later in the game. Grimes says that never happened, and because the game tape was edited, the video was inconclusive.
When you saw that Dallas Academy wasn't even scoring 1 point, what was going through your mind?
One thing I don't want to do is I don't want to tell my girls not to play. I definitely told them to say, hey, don't take their heart, because these girls, they still have fight, they still want to play. But, let's not do anything that would be unsportsmanlike or seen as harmful or shameful to Dallas Academy.
Even as Grimes rotated in his 3 non-starters and played a zone defense, Covenant continued to score on turnovers and fast breaks and increased its lead to 59-0 by halftime. The second half began with a 3-pointer by Covenant, which Grimes says was their last 3-point attempt of the game. But fast break points continued to pile up, with Covenant scoring 29 points in the third quarter. Dallas Academy head coach Jeremy Savello told the Dallas Morning News the second half was, quote, steal at half court and layup. It was a layup drill.
We did score layups. There's no doubt about it. It wasn't like we stole and fast break the entire game. Dallas Academy played hard, but they did not get back on defense a lot of the times. In a sense, you would have more fast breaks.
By the end of the third quarter, Dallas Academy trailed 88-0. Covenant added 12 more points in the final period to reach the 100 mark.
When you reached 100 points, what were you thinking?
Let the game in. I'm never concerned about a score.
Was 100 points a goal?
Never. No way. Absolutely not.
One Dallas Academy parent who attended the game told the Associated Press that spectators and an assistant coach from Covenant were cheering wildly as their team edged closer to 100. The edited game tape does not include the game's 100th point. We only see both teams shaking hands without incident after the game.
If you had a chance to play this game over again, what specifically would you do differently?
Number one, I would have probably run the clock the entire game. Number two, I would probably turn the score off. And number three, if the coach felt his girls were in danger of being hurt or anything, then we would stop the game.
Despite losing his job, Micah Grimes says he has no regrets and that he and his team did nothing wrong.
Is 100-0 running up the score?
Do I believe it's running up the score? I think it's a wide margin victory. If we had the intent, which is we're going to go out, we're going to score as many points as we want to, we're going to pass the ball around and really try to embarrass the girls, that's unsportsmanlike.
Who do you hold responsible for a 100-0 score?
It's a very good question. I haven't thought about that. Who do I hold responsible? Well, we played the game, and we won 100-0.
Do you take responsibility for the 100-0 score?
I take responsibility for being a coach, teaching my girls to do the right thing and playing the right way. But we did not do anything to those girls that will cause us to apologize for playing basketball.